यथा देहोहम पुरुषोहम ब्राह्मणोहम शूद्रोहमिस्मीति दृढनिश्चयः तथा नाहं ब्राह्मणः न शूद्रः न पुरुषः किन्तु असंगः सच्चिदानन्दस्वरूपः प्रकाशरूपः सर्वान्तर्यामी चिदाकाशरूपोऽस्मीति दृढनिश्चय रूप अपरोक्षज्ञानवान् जीवन्मुक्तः. This knowledge comes as throat light, so it becomes bright for you to understand, appreciate, and if you understand and appreciate, own it up that I am free. The one who owns up, that person is called Jivanmukthaha. The one who doesn't own up, in spite of being Muktaha, the fellow feels I am bound, Bodha. Understand? It's only different. If you own up, you are free. There is no doubt in that. Shastra says you want a simple owning up is required. That's why here there is nothing to do. There is no practice required here. As people generally think, we are not to practice because it is a simple reality to be understood. That's all, nothing else. It's a very important thing to know because people generally think we have to do something. We have nothing to do. If at all a doing, okay, it is understanding that you have to do. And having understood, always be awake to the fact what you are. If you are not awake, we can use two other particular phrases. You are sleeping, but not total sleep, but you are dreaming also. Hence, from the standpoint of the reality, our Shastra says everyone is dreaming. And to dream, first you have to sleep. Hence, Shastra, what does it do? It wakes you up. That is why it is called Bodha. Bodha means to be awake. And all awakening takes place. Even if you are awake now, when you say a person is awake, what gives the awakening? If merely his eyes are open, can you say a person is awake? The awakening because your mind and intellect are awake. That's why some people eyes are open, but sometimes their buddhi and mind are not awake, I tell you. So that is why the awakening is always at the level of our intellect, buddhi, and it is awake to something. At that time it becomes aware of that. When it is not awake to that, it is not aware of that. So that is why our Shastra is doing. We were previously sleeping and dreaming, but it is not a sweet dream. If it is a sweet dream, you have no problem. But if it is a miserable dream, sometimes you even scream, you shout. That is what we are doing in our life. Because our life is not all that sweet. Because there are always some problems are there, other. That's why we are screaming, grumbling, complaining, fear, anxieties, worries, what all things we have got. All because of this wrong understanding about ourselves. Then Shastra comes like an helper. When you are screaming, somebody wakes you up from that miserable condition and releases you from there and say, oh, thank God I got up from that. This is what Shastra does, just to wake you up to your reality. It just does that, nothing else. That is a having woken up, you are not to do. What do you do to change from the miserable dreamer to be waker? What do you do? Except waking up, is there anything else required? There's nothing else required. Similar is the case here also. Wake up from that dream of yours. that I am a body, that I am Manushya, that I am this, I am that, I am Karta, Bhokta, Sukhi, Dukhi, all these things. Come on, forget that dream. Be awake to the reality. And that is what is called Asangaha. Asangaha means I am detached, means I am ever free. Detachment from what? Detachment basically from this body and bodily limitations and problems. I am ever free. This is where you are not to struggle to become detached. That's why there is no becoming here. There is no becoming, because a becoming becomes a change. And if you change, again you can become something else. A change is a process. It is an event in time. Here it is not event in time because it is a reality. That I am ever free, detached is a fact. That's why I need not become detached. Then what should I do to be detached? Just understand I am detached. I am free. So we have nothing to do. This is very important understanding, because many people present all these things as though you have to do something. You have to do nothing. If at all it is a doing, of course, what is it? Just to be understood and be awake. That's all. That is more a state of being than a state of becoming. So we are not to particular. That's why in our Shastra, Bhava, to become. That's why the whole creation is called Bhava. Bhava means becoming. The coming to birth is a becoming. That is called Bhava Sagar. Because we become here. And having come, we keep on becoming something or the other. We keep on changing. Wherever there is a change, that is what is called Bhava. 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 But to be is called Astitva, Sat. That's why Sat means Satyam, to be free. That's why Asangaha, Asmi, I am. That is very important. So that is what is told here by Asangaha, hence Satchidananda Surupaha. I am three types of limitations, not there we saw, time-wise, or Jadatvam, or limitations, all gone. That is called Satchidananda Surupam. That's called Purna Surupam I am. Free from all limitations. And I am not a Jadavastu. I am ever sentient, Chetanam, Prakasha, Surupam. That's called awareful, conscious I am. The consciousness, the awareness I am. That is myself. Then again I am all pervasive, hence I have no limitation. In this body I pervade Naka, Shikha, Pariyantam. Everywhere I am there. Like that I pervade everywhere. There is no place I am not. Because why? Because I am the one because of everything has existence. And anywhere you see what is there common is existence. You take a Jada, you take a Chetana, in both what is common? Chetana, I am also means I exist. What about this chair? Exist. What is common between both? Existence is common. What is uncommon? There's my Rupam is different, their Rupam is different. I consider to be Chetanam, that is Achetanam. In this manner between this body and chair, there is a difference, but between them there is a common thing. This one our Shastra says, from Nama Rupa, everything is different. But from Tattvam, they are all one and the same. That's why I am everywhere, whether it is Jadam or Chetanam, without difference, I am common everywhere in the form of Astitva. Astitva. I am everywhere. That's why generally if you say the whole creation exists. So in the creation, entire what is there everywhere? Existence, 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 existence. And another thing, you have to think now, though we say there is an existence in this chair which is Jadam, insentient, is there an insentient existence? Any existence has to be with sentiency only. An insentient thing doesn't give existence to anything, neither for itself nor for anything, whereas a sentient being gives existence to oneself plus anything in the world. That's why world doesn't say you are, but you say the world is. Hence, if the world is, generally you say everything in the world also included in that. So who gives existence to everything? It is my awareness. The knower me is awareness. The known falls within my awareness. Then I say it exists. Anything that doesn't fall within my awareness, doesn't exist for me. If the world has to come into existence, that's why only when you wake up, the world comes into existence. When you are sleeping, anybody who sleeps, for them the world doesn't exist. So when does existence come into being? When there is awareness. Where there is awareness, there is existence. Where there is no awareness, there cannot be any existence. Hence, awareness and existence are not two different things. You must clearly know. Awareness, existence are the same. They are not two different things. So awareness and existence are together, they can never have a separateness. Means if existence has to be there, it has necessarily to be in awareness, in consciousness, cannot be away from that. You think of it please. No existence can be separate and away from consciousness or awareness. Hence, you being consciousness, wherever existence is there, it falls within you. That's why our Shastra says, you are everywhere. Indirectly, if at all, we say, the existence itself is in the form of world. If you give a name and form to existence, then existence becomes multiple, many. And they are multiple by what? By their namam, rupam. For this only we give example of the ornaments and gold. Gold is one, but it becomes many and plenty because we give it a shape, at the same time we give it a name and distinguish one from the other. Hence multiplicity, plurality, dvaitam, everything starts. As long as our vision is this namam rupam, naturally the reality is what? Many, plenty. But if you understand and your drishti, your truth becomes tattvam, the many becomes apparent. The many is not the truth. What is the truth? The tattvam itself is the truth. That is why if you see your tattvam, you are everywhere. You are everything. But if you don't know your tattvam, you become isolated. You are in one place. You are limited and you see many in the world. This is between the difference between Dvaitam and Advaitam, you must know. Hence Advaitam is a fact which is to be understood through knowledge, not through this eye. Never. Because it is called a vision of the reality. And that is what is told here as Sarvantaryami. And I am the accommodation of everything because everything exists in me. And what is that? That is called Chit, the awareness. Then it is given the status like Akasha. Because Akasha means what? Where everything gets accommodation. Since in awareness me everything gets accommodated, I am called Chit Akasha Rupaha. Chidakasha Rupaha. Asmi iti Dridha Nischaya Rupaha. That is a common. Earlier also Dridha Nischayam. Here also Dridha Nischayam. Only thing that remains is aparoksha jnanavan. One who has got the jnanam, which is referred by a terminology here, aparoksha jnanam. That person is called Jivanmukthaha. We all know jnanam means knowledge. Now here is a new expression used called aparoksha. So in this knowledge, there are three types of knowledge we can take. One is called pratyaksha, direct perception. There is a pratyaksha jnanam. The next one is, that means whenever it is a pratyaksha jnanam, the object of knowledge is very close and proximate to you. In pratyaksha jnanam, the object of knowledge is very close and proximate to you. Whenever we say paroksham, we can give two meanings. It is particularly intermediate knowledge, or it is called secondary knowledge, or we call it an object which is remote and away from you. And that knowledge about it, which you get it not directly, you get it indirectly, that is what is called paroksha jnanam. That is paroksha jnanam. And another thing other than that is a knowledge where there is immediate knowledge, where there is no difference between you and the object that you know. That is why in the pratyaksha jnanam also, though you get knowledge, the object of knowledge is other than you. Even in the intermediate knowledge, where the object is away from you also, the object is something other than you. That is why in the pratyaksha jnanam and in the paroksha jnanam, what remains is dvaitam. Dvaitam. Otherwise, another word we use called bedam. Bedam. You use two words, either particularly dvaitam or bedam. What is the bedam? The knower is other than the known. You get knowledge, but knowledge about what? Knowledge about something other than me. And that knowledge is what always, that is what is called a qualification to me. That knowledge qualifies me. That's why most of our knowledge is, majority is in this area only. That is why we all get qualified. We get qualified by varieties of knowledge, and all that you know, you always see is something other than you. That's why you all can see now, though you study about this anatomy, even your own anatomy, is it not an object for you? That's why in these days, modern days, you all know, when you do operation theatre, you put a mirror, and even the person who is being operated can see what is being done. For that person it is an object. Even otherwise this is an object. For you yourself. The entire thing, all the thing that is there, anything, even you open the heart is something you can see. Either directly or indirectly through X-rays and so many things, you see that particular thing. All the thing which is not that, which you cannot see here, you tell me. You can have knowledge of all these things. While studying, you may particularly see some other body and study. But then that is why the same thing applies to this body also. There is no difference whatsoever. So what difference is between another body and this body? There is also an object, here also it is an object. What difference is there? That's why, are you the heart? If you say, I am this body, you have the knowledge. Are you the heart? Or are you the brain? Are you the eyes? Are you the mind? Are you the stomach? Are you kidney? Are you liver? What are you? While all of them are there, they belong to you. They are something given to you. But doesn't mean you are that. Don't you think so? So then that is why this understanding only should say that though everybody thinks like that, that doesn't mean that is the correct thing. That's why Shastra tells, having understood a person, understand who am I. Because that I am the body is a paroksha jnanam. Because I see and say. But that I am, this Atma, is not that I see and say, because there is no seer other than the seen. Indirectly, seer and seen are one and the same. That state of the non-difference as knower known, seer seen, that difference being there, that knowledge is what is referred by the word aparoksham. So aparoksham means what? Where this vedam, the difference as knower knows, the subject object, this difference is not there. That is why you don't particularly, Atma Jnanam is not, I know Atma is not Atma Jnanam. Whereas in all other case, what is Jnanam? I know this, I know that, I know that. That is the knowledge. When it comes to this Atma Jnanam, if you say I know Atma, you don't have Atma Jnanam. Then what is Atma Jnanam? That I am Atma. That's the Asmi. Aham Asmi. That's why generally the popular statement is Aham Brahma Asmi. That's why Paroksha Jnanam is Asti. Asti means it is. What? Brahman is there. Atma is there. Like when there is a Vishnu, there is a Shiva, there is a Ganesha. These are all called Paroksha Jnanam. Why? I am not Vishnu. I am not Shiva. I am not Ganesha. I am not Rama. I am not Krishna. But I know Rama, Krishna, Ganesha. Everybody I know. I know everything. But still what it is? It is only simply a knowledge of something. And that is why that and I cannot be one and the same. That is why you are one when you know the truth of that, all those things is nothing but you. That's why the truth of Ishvara is also what we saw. Is nothing but this awareness, Satchid Ananda Surupam. That is the truth of me. Thus, everything is me only. There is no difference whatsoever. That's why the Atma which I wanted to know, or the Brahman that I wanted to know, I don't say I know Brahman or I know Atma, but the clear understanding is what? I am Brahman, I am Atma. So again when I say I am Brahman, I am Atma, there is no question of I becoming Brahman or I becoming Atma is not there. You must clearly understand that. There is no question of becoming. Then what it is? It is a fact and reality of state of being. That's why even when I thought that I am the body, mind and intellect, really who am I? I am the Atma. I have been the Atma. That is why we give the example of the dreamer. Even when the person is dreaming that I am suffering, I am miserable, I have a problem, the reality is what? Problem is reality or free from problem is reality. Because the person is nicely lying in the bed without any problem. Don't you think that is the reality? But that becomes a reality only when the person wakes up to this reality. As long as the person is sleeping to this reality, that becomes reality. Similarly, we have been making the dream as a reality, that's why it became real to us. That's why people go through that and think that is real, that is real, that is real, which Bhagavan will tell you in Gita, where Bhagavan says, what everybody sleeps to, that wise man is awake to that. This is the Drishtantam Bhagavan gives. That is why this jnanam only makes you awake. That's why it's called Tattva Bodham. This is the Bodham. To awake. That is why you have to be awakened. Somebody has to awake. Because a sleeping person, only in the morning sometimes he wakes awake, or sometimes even there somebody has to wake up the fellow. Otherwise some people keep on sleeping. If there is urgency, immense emergency, people have to wake them up. Like that your Shastra wakes you up. Why? Because Shastra wants you to be free from your own problems and mysteries. Understand and be free. Here nothing else is required. Please make a note of it. We don't prescribe doing or anything. Vedanta doesn't prescribe because you cannot do, because doing is a process of change. Here you are not to change because you don't understand an object by changing it. Any understanding is as it is. That is called knowledge. Is it or not? That's why in knowledge you have no choice that the object should be like this. What is knowledge? Knowledge is always to understand it as it is called knowledge. If you want an object to be the way you want, will it become knowledge? It doesn't become knowledge. That's why knowledge doesn't permit you to have a choice to having the object the way you want. But you have got only choice to understand an object as it is. That is called knowledge. And that is the truth of the object itself. That's why any knowledge is exactly in reality of the object what it is, that becomes real knowledge. Whether it is worldly knowledge, let it be any knowledge. Knowledge means understanding an object as it is in its reality, what it is. That alone is knowledge. If you misunderstand it, you may think it is knowledge, till proved wrong, it thinks right for you. But the day it is proved wrong, you understand what I thought is wrong, that is not correct. Is it not so in the world? Same is the case. Because we misunderstood ourselves to be the body, mind and other things, and we mistook everything and attributed many things to us, that doesn't mean that is the reality. Till proved wrong, it becomes real. But if at all you prove it wrong, then the right is you are free. And that freedom is called moksham. The muktaha you are even when the body is living, there is life here, you are associated with the body, your status is what? Free from what? Free from all bodily problems and limitations. And this freedom is what is called samsara nivritti. Freedom from samsara. This is what is the important topic. Hence this jnanam aparoksham means what is important? Where the truth of me and myself are not two different things. That was clear? That means that way how it is. What is the difference means? In this understanding, that's why it is not I know Atma, I know Brahman, or I know I am Brahman. No. Statement is what? I am Brahman. I am Atma. When I say I am Brahman, it is not something an object Brahman. I am Brahman means I am free from all limitations. That is the meaning of the word Brahma. Brahma means limitless, infinite. And any limitations which you have been suffering in life is called Jiva Bhava. And when I say I am Brahma means I am free from all limitations. That is why Aham Purna. I am Purna Swarupam. I am Purnam. That means I am the whole. I am everything. I am limitless. And I am already, not I have to become. It is not a process of change. It is not in time. It is not in space. It is not an event. Because you have been that. Only thing is you did not know. What happens now is there is a recognition, a cognition born of clear understanding what I am. That's all what is required. That's why any cognition happens where? In your buddhi. Even if you are looking at a person in front of you, as long as you don't cognize the person, simple object. You don't know who he is or who she is. But when somebody comes and introduces, the same perception becomes a knowledge. Their cognition takes place. And once cognition has come, later on you meet the person, you don't take time, you say, how are you? Because you have recognized the person. Similarly, the Atma has been ever there, standing in front of you, but you did not know why. Somebody didn't reveal to you, unfold to you, introduce this Atma, you to yourself. Understand now? It is funny that you have to be introduced to yourself. It is not. It's really a funny thing. It's really a funny thing. Am I to be introduced to myself? Yes. What to do? Unfortunate. That's why we gave the example of the 10th man had to be introduced to the 10th man, that you are the 10th man, sir. Like that, Shastra only introduces you to yourself. Which you? The confused you, who was confused that I am body, I am like this, I am like that. That person is, hey, you are not all that. Come on, understand. You are the one who is ever free from all these things. And once, if at all, the introduction, you also, in keeping with that, cognize. The cognition take place in your buddhi. From that moment onward, who are you? I am Atma Brahman, free, free, free. That means now tell me, this moksha is tomorrow. It is now. In this moment, if it is clear to you and you own up, who are you? I am free. This is called Jivanmukthaha. From now onwards, till this body and you are associated, what should be your status? Free or no, tomorrow morning I will become again problem? It cannot be. Even though there may be problem in the body or in the mind, if your awareness is there and if you are clear what you have to say, problems are there. But for whom? It can be for the body, it can be in the mind, it can be anywhere. But the problem doesn't touch me. I am ever free. And that it doesn't touch you, that's why I told you it is just like the space. I give you the example. Even though anything that happens in the space remains unscathed. Nothing happens. Even if you burn big fire in this space never gets burned. Does it? Space allows everything to happen. In spite of happening, it is ever detached from everything. The same is the case with you, the Atma. Atma permits, accommodates everything to happen here. Sukham, dukkam, suffering, miseries, problem, anxieties, worries, everything which comes in the mind, it is all because of me, it is there. But in spite of their coming, they cannot give even a small dent on me like Akasha. This is the reality. You have got something to understand. Based on this understand, this is the reality of Atma. Or take the example of this light. This light at present when it falls, everybody has got colored clothing. And we have got a shape. When the light falls on you, light is exactly in keeping with your color. That's why it reveals your color of the cloth. Again the shape of the body, everything it illumines and it is one with it. Is the particular light away, standing separate from you? It has touched you, is it or not? Everywhere there is light. All over the body, the shape, everything is exactly one with it. But though it is, does these things stick to the light, please? That's why sunlight is there in the morning. When sun falls, all over the thing, good or bad. A marriage procession also it illumines. A funeral procession illumines. It falls in good clean water. It falls in dirty gutter water. But what happens to sun? Does it get sullied? Is sunlight away from the object? It is exactly with it, close with it, absolutely. In spite of that, it is free. That is the case with you. That's why you are the awareful consciousness. When in the mind there is a misery, where there is a problem, it is illumining that thought, the condition. It is close with it, like this light with everything. But when the thought goes, you are only there, thought has gone. It has not left a trace in you. That is why you yourself, when you forget the problem, you are free from the problem. When you remember the problem, you take the problem. That's a freedom. You shake off everything, you take it. That's it. If it is with you all the time, can it go? Can you shake off this hand? From the body, can you shake off? But then the thoughts we shake off. Everything we shake off. Why you are able to shake off? Because it is not mine. They come and go. But who am I? I am seeing their coming as well as going, or I illumine their arrival, I illumine their departure also. Like sunlight illumines anybody coming, sunlight illumines anybody going. This light, if it is on, when we all came, it illumines us. When we all go away, what does it do? It illumines our departure, but still remains the same light, free from anything. Conscious of everything. You become aware of everything. That you are aware of everything, their coming and going, proves that you are free from all of them. That's why you are you. I am the Chaitanya. I am the awareness. I am the consciousness. So you are not to become a Sakshi again, please. You are not to practice Sakshitvam. We are not to practice Sakshitvam. We have to all the time be remembering what? I am Sakshi. I am Sakshi. When I say I am Sakshi means, what is a witness? Who is a witness? Who is not a participant. Who is not involved. That person alone is called a Sakshi witness. If you are a participant, can you be a witness? You cannot be a witness. That means though everything happens here, at every level, my status is what? I am a witness. There was agitation in the mind. There was anxiety in the mind. There was worry in the mind. Everything was there. Don't deny that. They are all there. But what is that? That is called manovikaram. The mind's modification. Its nature is to modify. It cannot remain the same. It keeps on coming like a cloud in the sky comes and goes. Here also it comes and goes. And who are you? Like sunlight illumines the arrival of the clouds, the departure of the cloud, without itself being no way affected. Because rainy season, so much cloud comes. Not that sun becomes gloomy. It appears sun has become gloomy. No. That's why when the cloud comes, what happens to sun? It is ever bright. It doesn't undergo any change. Like when our mind becomes gloomy, not that Atma becomes gloomy. It appears. When the mind becomes very nice and cheerful, it is not Atma becomes cheerful. Atma illumines the cheerful state of the mind. Atma illumines the gloomy state of the mind. Thus, I am ever free from all conditions. But does it mean that you need not correct the mind becoming gloomy or bright? You can do that. There is nothing wrong. But that is not for your sake. It is just like keeping an instrument intact. If you have an instrument, what is the best thing? Let it be perfect and intact, in working condition. Like that, this mind is an instrument given to us. And when we have to do vyavaharam, it should be in perfect condition. So naturally, if at all we have to interact, we have to relate to people in the world, do things, the mind should be in perfect condition. And hence what is to be done? We must do. If there is any problem with the body, this is also another thing necessary. So for doing things in the world, body must be kept all right. Because I am Atma, not this should be neglected. This should be overlooked. He takes care of this because it has to do things in the world. Let it be used like any vehicle. If you have a car, if you have got a motorcycle, if you have got a scooter, since it has to serve a purpose, it is equally necessary. If you want it to serve purpose, maintain it properly. Then it serves you. Similarly, if you say it is my body, it has to serve, better keep it in good condition, it will serve you. But if you ignore like any mechanism, you ignore, it doesn't serve you properly. Why doesn't it serve? Because I don't keep it properly, I don't maintain it properly. Similarly, if you don't maintain this body or the mind properly, naturally it will not give you optimum service. It will not give you good service. It will not give you best service. It will serve to the extent it can with all its defects. Hence, what I am trying to say is, that doesn't mean because I am not body, mind or anything, okay, tomorrow onwards I neglect it. Durlakshya. No. We take care of it. But what goes away is an anxiety before I had. If it goes wrong, I had anxiety. No anxiety. Just to do what is to be done. Thus, we should distance from this by telling this is not me, but this is mine. So if it needs any particular attention, let us attend to it. There's a lot of difference. That's why when you leave your car in the garage, if at all it needs, do you sit and worry after leaving that? After handed over to the mechanic telling what is to be done, do you sit and worry about it? My car, kya hoga, kya hoga, kya hoga. Do you worry? You don't worry. Similarly, do what is to be done and be free from anxiety and worry. But if I am this, naturally you have to worry because something has happened to me. I hope you understand what is the difference in both. That makes a lot of difference, please. This is the difference you should understand. And try in your life this knowledge. Constantly be awake and see. And this is not only true to you, understand, this is the true to anybody, your near and dear one. Whether they know or not, you should know. That means you need not worry for your sake, because our worries sometimes are for our sake and sometimes our worry is for others, our near and dear ones. So now the reality of you being free, what is the reality of near and dear ones? Tell me. There also there is a body. In that body, what is the truth? What is the truth of that person also? The same Atma. Is the Atma there have any problem? Only that person doesn't know, identifies and says, I have got problem. But when you know, should you worry? That means I can be free from worry about myself. Equally free from worry about others. Because these are the two ways we all have worries and anxiety. Thus we need not worry for anybody. Bhagavan says in Gita, if you understand this, Arjuna, thinking of any object in the world, natvam chochitum arhati. Bhagavan says, there is no reason for you to worry, anxiety, grieving, anything. There is no room at all. There is no occasion for it, provided the knowledge is very clear, very clear. That's the greatness of this knowledge. It is not ordinary. It is not ordinary. That is why when you ask me to give me one talk on Vedanta, I said, sorry, I cannot give. Because I cannot do justice to it. It is such a profound thing. You cannot just explain things in one talk. You can see now. Can this be explained in one talk? How can you get the particular clarity if it is told in one talk? That's a great thing. That's why I said, if at all you want an idea of it, study this book. Later on you can stop. No problem about it. At least you have an idea of what it is. Later on it is for you to decide Whether you further want to know more about something else, that's a different thing. But what is Vedanta all about? This book tells you in a nutshell what it is. In a nutshell it tells you. And its vision is that you are free. Our Shastra's vision is you are free. That's all it wants to tell you. That's why it deals with the reality of you. Basically, it is the reality of you. But then you have to relate with other things, so that reality is also you. So there is no question of relator and related. All problem comes only when there is a relator and related. Then there is always something warm or there is another fire. All problems start. But when the relator and the related becomes one, there is no question of any friction whatsoever. So it is a friction-free life. That's why there is no fire in it. There is nothing in it. Always that which is called smooth. That's why it's called Shantam. Bhagavan says in Gita, knowing which what you get? Param Shantim, Bhagavan says. Param Shantim. A Shanti which you cannot even compare what it is. There is no comparison for it. Such a Shanti which you can get. Now itself if you really understand, what a great relief in the mind. Is it or not? That's why I gave the example of you yourself telling a patient, when a patient comes severely complaining, doctor, I think I am having some severe problem. My chest is paining for 3 days. So much problem. I think I am getting heart attack. And if at all you take all the tests required and convince that patient that you have no heart attack, your heart is very strong. What is the state of the patient? All anxiety just disappears. Is it or not, please? What makes it disappear? Even if the pain is still continuing, at least the person knows that I have no heart attack. That is the same thing we are telling here also. Same thing we are telling. That's why it is knowledge only required. That person had a knowledge only. And who gave the knowledge? One who is sure about it. Who has got a means to certify that you don't have the problem. And that means is our Shastra. Unfortunately, we don't have any other means. That's why I told you, it is exactly same. If you want to see your own face, what options you have got, please? Do you have many options? You have got only one option. That is to consult a mirror. That really can't show you what is your particular face. You don't have any other option. Similar is the case. If you want to know the reality of yourself, you have no option except this Shastra. And this is the authority for it. And then it tells you that you are free. You are free. You are free. Hence, that is why it doesn't just dogmatically tell you, you are free, accept it. That's why it uses so much of reasoning. It has so much use reasoning because we cannot accept anything unreasonable. Our buddhi will not accept. That's why it appeals so much to the reasoning and tells you, come on, think well. That's why all the time vivekam, vivekam, vivekam. It is a discriminating inquiry that inquire into the reality. That's why what is research? A research is more and more of inquiry. And what is our Shastra doing? And a research into the reality of you. And through this research only, it reveals to you your reality that you are free, free, free. As a matter of fact, this is the phalam of this knowledge. So what is the phalam of this knowledge? That's why it is not a mukti that you will go to heaven. After death you will get freedom. Our Shastra doesn't say. But what does it say? You are free here, now, now, now. Not even tomorrow, sir. I told you, this moment. If you have understood, and it is clear in your buddhi that I am Atma, this moment what is your reality? I am free. I am free. That is why it is all present, it is not a future. It is all now. And this status of being present is what is used the phrase Jivanmukti. Jivan means what? Living in the same world, under the same circumstances. The circumstances and surroundings does not undergo any change. Without undergoing any change there, I am free. Normally in the world, your freedom is what? By changing various things, you want to get a freedom. That's why we find it very difficult. We can change certain things. Can we change everything? Sometimes we want people to change for you to be free, and you find it very difficult. Is it or not? Now, do you want people to change to be free? Tell me. What a great thing. Because in life, people living with people in particular relationship and other things, we cannot expect everybody to change the way I want. And sometimes we find very difficult to accept people. Naturally, my life becomes miserable. And I don't want to live. What am I to do? But sometimes I cannot get out also. This is our condition. Now you tell me, even if other people are there, is your freedom restricted? This is called Jivanmukti. You can see from various angles. That's why for this person, no situation is something which makes any difference. Because my freedom cannot be touched by anybody. I am ever free. And that is why I will not demand from others something you do for my sake, for me to be free. No, that is why you are not dependent. When you want others to be in a way for your freedom, you are dependent in other person being that way. And that is why many times for your freedom, you expect others to be that way. You get particularly dejected, frustrated in life. What is my life? These are all certain problems in this related world of ours. But if you understand this, you give freedom to everybody. You be what you are. However, I want to be what I am. Be what you are. Because you don't trouble me, I don't trouble you. So I don't expect anything of you. So you have the freedom to live your way and be free. And I am free, whether you are this way or that way, I am free. Here comes acceptance. Here comes accommodation. We talk many things, understand itself. As we are in the world, it is all very, very difficult. There seems to be nice slogans. Accept everybody, accommodate everybody, live and let live. Everything we say, but in practical we find it very, very difficult. Very difficult. But with this knowledge, you can accommodate anyone in the world. Why? Because you are sure other person cannot infringe upon my freedom. In spite of any condition, I am free. I am free. The whole world cannot stop my freedom. What a great thing it is. Provided it is clearly understood. So what is required here is the clear understanding. Again I repeat, there is nothing to do. There is no practice here because it is not a theory. If there is a theory, then comes practice. Because here it is talks just about the reality of you. Can you practice yourself? I am practicing myself. What you will do? Tell me. How will you practice yourself? You can practice something other than you. Yoga you can practice because it is all putting the leg this way, that way. You can do practice. Speaking you can practice. Doing you can practice. So many things you can practice. Writing practice. Singing practice. Varieties of things we can practice. Now how do you practice yourself? Come on, tell me. Do you practice that I am human, I am practicing? How you will practice? Doctor you are, when you do the job of doctor you are practicing. Doctor medicine you are practicing. That is why you check the patient, you do things. That is what you call a practice. Because it is to be applied somewhere. But it is yourself. How are you going to practice this? You tell me please. How are you going to practice it? That's why if at all it is a practice, it is to be awake in your buddhi. I am free. I am free. If at all you want the word practice, okay, accept the word practice, but the practice is not physical, the practice is not anything, it is constant awarefulness and wakefulness at the level of your buddhi, that I am free all the time. Even if you forget for a moment I am free, still who are you? When we sleep, what is not available? This thinking that I am free is not there. That means my freedom went away or what? It doesn't go. Similarly, if you forget for a few minutes, oh, I forgot to think I am free, your freedom doesn't go. Or for a mistake, you particularly committed a mistake, thought, I am particularly not free, but still you are free. That's the beauty of it. That is what we call it as Nityam, Shashvatam, Satyam. That's why we said, a Nityam doesn't undergo change, a Satyam doesn't undergo change. That is why you are ever the same. There is no change. So you need not worry. How to remember all the time I am free? How do you remember all the time I am suffering? I would like to know. Some people whole day worry, is it or not? Though everybody say, Kalji Karunaka, 1,000 times they will say. But that fellow is very good in doing this worry. Whole day, Sakal Pasun Asas. That's what they say. So if you can 24 hours keep on worrying, why not 24 hours be aware that I am free, please? Can you say it is difficult? If we can do that, why can't do this? I would like to know. Why can't we do that? Because why I am telling all these things, people give excuses, People give excuse. All because they don't think, they don't understand properly. People give excuses for all these things. This is very difficult. How are we going to do it? How can it be possible? We are so busy. But whether you are busy or not, are you not you, I am asking. This busy practically in the world, but still who are you? I am myself. Do you forget I am so and so? Because 24 hours I was busy, I forgot who I am. Is it happens? You don't. Come on, tell me. Anything you can forget, but you cannot forget yours. You cannot forget. And we are talking about you. That's why you cannot say Atma is something I forgot, Brahman something I forgot. Because we say Brahman and Atma are you. If it is an object other than you, that's why you can forget Vishnu, you can forget Rama, you can forget Krishna, you can forget Ganesha, because I was very busy. But do you forget yourself? You don't forget yourself. You don't forget yourself at all. And this way of being with oneself all the time, not being different, is what is meant by aparoksha jnanam. Aparoksha jnanam. This is called immediate. There is no mediate in this. Mediate means I plus something, and nothing is used to see, to remember anything. But I am. It is not that when I remember I am, when I don't remember, I am not. Is it so? I don't become existent when I remember. Whenever I remember, I am existent. When I forget, I am not. Is it so? I am using all these things because I don't want all these confusions in your mind. You are all intelligent people, I know that very well. I need not talk like children to you. But still why I am talking is, in this area, there is a lot of misconceptions and wrong thinkings on the part of people. That is the reason I am talking. Don't think I am making all like a child, please. No. That's not the idea. The idea is only to make things clear to you, that's all, nothing. Because this subject is so subtle. And there is a lot of confusion also about this subject. There is so much of confusion. And hence things should become very, very clear. Hence you are free. This is the vision of our Shastra, and that is what is meant by Tat Tvam Asi. the present tense. If you say I want to be free, tat tvamasi, you are that freedom. The free is you. If you say I want to be full, the full is you. If you say I want to be Ananda Swarupam, you are that. Anything you say, you are that. That is the meaning of Tatu Tvam Asi. So this is the thing, the end that is said. Now the other thing is, technically certain things are being talked. That is what we are supposed to take. That is the section. Now we will get into that. This is what now that Aparoksha Jnanavan Jivanmukthaha, from a technical standpoint, that is being talked here. Simple freedom. That's a technical language is there that related to that in the next section we will see. Now we will read particularly item 11.6, freedom from bondage. There we have to see it. Brahmaivahamasmiti aparoksha jnanena nikhila karma bandha vinirmuktasyat. Now that same thing is brought here. That's why I first dealt with it and brought it. So what is aparoksha jnanam is told. Brahma eva aham asmi iti aparoksha jnanam. That I am Brahman itself. By that aparoksha jnanam, jnanena. That's why it is in the particularly instrumental case. That is the instrumental. That is the cause. That is the hetu. That is being told here. As a result of this clear understanding, and because of understanding, an awakening about yourself. That is what is meant by aparoksha jnanena. And that aparoksha jnanam is aham brahma asmi. I told you already that. That itself, that's called, in short, is what? I am free. I am free. Again, aham brahmasmi means what? That should not be. That aham brahmasmi means I am free from all problems, which I told you up to now. That is the meaning of aham brahmasmi, means I am free from any type of limitations and problems. All of them are not there for me. I am free. And that I is the truth of me. Understanding that is what is called aparoksha jnanena. As a result of that, what happened? The freedom, in a way he says, what is that? So syat means one will be free. One will be. Syat means one will be. What is that particularly? Nikhila karma vidirmuktaha. Vinirmuktaha, totally free. From what? Nikhila karma. Nikhila means entire karmas. Here karma means phalam. Karma, phalam. Karma means action also you can take. You are free from all actions. Why? Because you don't do any action. This is what Bhagavan is harping to Arjuna all over Gita. Because Arjuna wanted freedom from karma. Do a action. Because Arjuna said, I don't want to fight. That is Arjuna's problem. Because Arjuna says, the fighting, the battle is too much. It's a nuisance. I don't want to do it. So Arjuna thought, I will stop and become free. I say, Krishna says, no, that is not a freedom. Then how can you become free from karmas? If you are doing, you are doing. How can you be free in spite of doing? That is why he says, your status is what? Just now I told you. In spite of doing, you don't do. That is why we told you, who are you? Sakshi. This is karma bandha vinirmukta. Doing also you are not. When you are not a doer, will anything come and affect you? No. So neither you are a direct doer, nor you are an indirect doer. You don't impel somebody to do. You don't instigate somebody to do, nor you yourself do. Like electricity doesn't instigate a fan to what? Does it? Does it push the fan? Come on, start. Electricity doesn't do. What to do when electricity says, when I come there the fan starts running? What am I to do? Like a magnet comes, all iron filings start going this side, that side. Don't mean to say the particular magnet comes and pushes everybody. The magnetic field is such that in its presence everything gets attracted. It has got a pull, it pulls everything. What to do? Like that, in the presence of this Atma, whatever has got its potential nature to function, it starts functioning. There is a potential nature to revolve in this fan, and whenever electricity is there, what it will do? It has to. This mic has potentially a nature to always particularly make this volume more, amplify it. It does its job. The potential condition is in this mic, not in electricity. Electricity is free from all these potential things. It is a simple energy. In the presence of it, everything which has got activity does. Similarly, Atma is absolute energy, in whose presence all potential activities of heart and lungs and liver and all kidneys and so many things, brain and brain cells, all sorts of things, they are all doing their respective job. That's why the moment that Atma is not there, the whole mechanism stops. Like once electricity goes, everything, you must know. Though in medical science I hear now, in this body itself there is an electrical energy comes, it seems. But then, like even in a generator to electricity to come, there is something doing and preparing electricity. So in this generator, Atma is the fuel for that generator to produce even electricity, petrol you say. The Atma's presence is very much essential. And what a great thing, this Atma is ever free from anything here, anything, absolutely. Again, that is what he said. So, two-folded way. Karma, if you take the meaning called actions, you are free from action. Because of what? Because I understand that I perform no action. Why? If at all you want a clarification, an action is possible only where there are avayavas, akara, limbs. Is it or not? Where there is no limbs, there cannot be any action. That's why what action does space do? Tell me. What action does space do? Does space do any action? Why doesn't the space do any action? Because it doesn't have hands and legs to move or do this, do that. That's why it is called nirakara. What akaram space has got? It has got nothing. So that is why space doesn't do. But in space everything happens. That's why space is avakasha pradatra. It accommodates everything. It permits everything. It goes everything. Like that Atma is also, that's why you say Nirakaram Nirgunam is Atma. In this Nirakar Nirgunan Atma, how can it do anything? Because it doesn't have hands and legs. But it is with the hand, it is with the legs, like electricity is with every equipment, but itself is free from any limbs, for electricity doesn't revolve, electricity doesn't do anything, but without it nothing can happen. Like that Atma doesn't do anything, but without Atma nothing is possible. Specifically here, Bhagavan is going to say in Gita, if at all, Gita Bhagavan says, without me, the Atma presence, the whole creation cannot revolve. The creation can do nothing. That is our whole thing. That is why it is absolute energy, the absolute life for everything. And that energy and life is you. That is your status. So can you say you are small? If you identify with the Atman, you know the Brahman, I am the one, because of anything in this creation is moving, and in this creation is this body, one thing, which also performs whatever it does. Thus, karma, you are free means even actions you are free. First, understand the karma, the meaning is action. you are free. Why? That's why I told you, you are a karta. You don't perform any actions, so you are not to stop action and become free. But who are you? In spite of actions, I am free from action. Again, understand now. Popularly, we become free from action when we stop doing action. This is popular method of freedom. But when you come to Vedanta, what is the freedom from actions? By knowing that I perform no action. At my level, there is no activity. Thus I am ever free. When? Bhagavan will say in Gita, even when there are actions. Though from the worldly standpoint, somebody will say, use of speaking, you are walking. Bhagavan says, in spite of walking, I am free from walking. In spite of speaking, I am free from speaking. How do you like that? So should the walking stop to become free from walking? That is the freedom. That is the jnana. So understand this. So what should you stop tomorrow? Nothing. Let everything go on. But awarefulness is that I am free from this action. I don't perform any action. And when you don't perform action, what result can come to you and affect you? If you are the doer, if you do a crime, naturally who should get punishment? The doer. It's a simple thing. Or if you do something good, the merit should come to whom? One who does the particular thing. If you don't perform at all, merit should come or demerit should come to you? Nothing. So we go the other side of the karma, it's called karma phalam. What is the karma phalam according to our Shastra? Is generally called punyam or papam. In the normal, particularly Vyavahara, everybody would say that punyam is better than papam. Compared to papam, punyam is better. So do good always. Don't do bad. That is okay. But when you come to our Shastra, you must understand even good, the punyam is a cause for birth. That means getting into samsara. So if you want to totally become free from samsara, you should neither have punyam or papam, because both are cause for this rebirth. Because why? To be one getting the phalam, you should be the doer. Understand? So if you retain doership, you cannot always get merits only. Can you? That's why you see all the particular performers in the Olympics or any particular thing. 1 year they are champion, next year what happens? So this is why sometimes merit, sometimes demerits in our life. You cannot say 100% all the time I will get only merits. It doesn't count. So if you are hankering after merits, you have to equally be prepared to accept the demerit also in life. That's why business means sometimes you got profit, sometimes you get loss. Is it or not? That is our life also. In our life, profit is called punya and sukham, and there is always loss is called papam and dukkham. Both come. That is the ordinary life, which we don't want, understand itself. We want only uncontaminated, unpolluted, only good things to come. It is impossible. It is impossible. Hence, if you want to be free totally, be from both. Bhagavan will say in Gita, Shubha, Ashubhaihi, Muktaha, both. Then only mukti, otherwise you cannot get it. That is why the word Nikhila Karma. Nikhila means the entire host. All of them. Whether you call it Punyam, Papam, either everything you are free. By what? By one shot. This particular Jnana. Jnanam is so great. Which in Gita Bhagavan will say, Naki Jnanena Sadricham Pavitram Ihavisyade. Bhagavan says. Equal to this Jnanam, a purifier, a rectifier, You don't have at all. Nothing equal to it. There is nothing equal to that. And that is what is said, Nikhila karma bandha vinirmuktaha syat. One will be free, provided this knowledge. Now this karma itself, the word, from the phala standpoint, will be discussed in the next section, which is popular. One more class will be there to deal with that, and once that is over, I think the text will get over. We will see that in the next class. Om sarve bhavantu sukhinaha, sarve santu niramayah, sarve bhadrani pasyantu, ma kaschid dukkha bhaag bhavet. Om